All right. Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day out there today. It has been a minute since I've had an opportunity to talk with you guys and go over the charts and stuff like that. Loki's still here being very happy and excited. He's trying to get a toy, I think, before he says hello. Oh, there he goes. Kind of. There you go. But for today's video, what I wanted to do with you guys is go over some Bitcoin technical analysis, what's going over in the markets, what's possible for 2026, and then kind of some of the stuff that's going to be happening here on the channel as I kind of start up this new thing that kicks off, I guess, in about an hour or so. There's going to be a few changes here. I've been talking about changes for a minute, but I just haven't been able to do it. So what I did over the last few weeks when I wasn't really streaming the last couple weeks, I got back on my ADHD medication. So basically I'm a little bit better as far as like, hey, I have a goal, I'm gonna hit that goal, and that type of stuff, right? So get ready for some new stuff. There's gonna be a lot of tutorials coming out. The first one comes out today. My goal is to have 2 tutorials come out a day, one being a basic, hey, how do you add this indicator? And then the second one being a strategy for the indicator itself. The first one today is going to be moving averages. I think I'll probably have the second video come out tomorrow just because I'm still working on it. I'm starting this new tutorial series with you guys where the beginning part is always going to be a 10 slide PowerPoint that kind of explains the concept so you guys have a clearer understanding besides just me kind of talking and not really having the ability to show many examples, if that makes sense. And then once you guys have the concepts understood of what we're looking for, then when I put everything up onto the charts, you guys will be like, oh, that's what he talked about. Or, hey, I have the PowerPoint over here and now I see what he's talking about. It'll make it a little bit easier. So I think last year I tried to do too much entertainment stuff and news, not even too much entertainment, just more news. I think I'm gonna pull back from the news this year and really just double down on the educational content, which is a lot easier for me to do because I know the stuff. I just don't know how to make it entertaining, and I don't even want to try at this point. The only thing that may be entertaining is I'm gonna pay one of my editors around $10-15 for like 10-20 seconds of highly edited intros for all of my strategy tutorial videos. So keep an eye out for that. That's not going to start for a couple weeks here because I just want to get some stuff rolling here, but get ready for all of that. And hey, Villar, thank you for becoming an early adopter. I do appreciate it a lot. I haven't seen you for a minute, but I have great to have you in here. And by seeing you, I've seen you in the chat, but not like in real life. And hey, the Dolphins, happy to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Reminded me of the Dolphins, man. These playoffs have been freaking insane. I'm so excited for the Seahawks, but I'm so nervous for the Seahawks because they just can't do, they do okay. They just can't do too well, right? So let's get started for today here. The goal will be to go over some crypto, some stocks generally, then going over some Bitcoin technical analysis, a very, very light one for the first one, then going over what's happening with altcoins, some news happening, going over some of my stocks and what's been happening there so we have an idea, and then just kind of looking at some of the general news, and then really just diving into more advanced technical analysis for Bitcoin as we try to figure out what could happen over the next few weeks. If you guys are in the Telegram group, I had mentioned that there's a buying opportunity for Bitcoin, I believe, a couple weeks ago. There was like 2 different trades. One had a short-term stop loss, one had a longer-term stop loss. I believe the short-term one ended up losing, but the longer-term one right now at least is making a profit, which is good. But Bitcoin really was very slow and very boring over the last few weeks. And I believe today is the first real day we've had any real excitement. You can see above my head right here, Bitcoin's up around 3% today. Ethereum is up 2.7%. XRP is up 10%, and that's a really good move. But Dogecoin's only up 1%. Solana's only up 3%, you know, BNB's only up 1.6%. So it's decent, but we haven't seen anything rocket just yet. And I think that's going to be something we have to talk about here because the way the momentum is shifting is good for us, but it's not great because, of course, some of those longer term trends that we're going to have to battle against over the next few months. Excuse me. But as of right now, Bitcoin's up. We're seeing a nice start off to the year. We'll see if things continue to get better, but there are some warning signs we have to talk about. As far as the stock market today, the stock market actually did pretty good. You can see the finance, the retail trade, and consumer deliverables, plus a whole bunch of energy and producer stuff that ended up taking off quite well. Tech is doing okay, not great, but okay. The big elephant in the room, of course, is what happened with Venezuela and Maduro over the last few days. It was just fascinating to watch. I was at a bar, smoking a cigar, of course, and they were partying inside, lots of loud music. And one of my friends comes outside and he's like, "Hey, Michael, why are you just looking at your phone? There's a big party going on inside." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm watching these helicopters bomb the crap out of Venezuela. It looks like we're at war or something like that." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, we're bombing the shit out of Venezuela." And all of a sudden, it was like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then I basically had finished off my drink, and then I just went home to kind of watch the news for hours and hours and hours. And I was kind of worried about what that may do to the market, but in real time, Bitcoin didn't really care all too much. And I'm happy to see that the stock market today is actually going up besides it. The only thing that's not really going well today is like the health sector right here that's doing pretty poorly. And that's because there were some rule changes to vaccines, so the vaccine makers aren't going to be paid as much because there's not as many mandatory vaccines that people have to take. Regardless if you like it or hate it, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're not insurance companies and those types of companies in the healthcare sector. They're not going to be making as much money, which is fascinating to me. So what do you call? I always forget that we can kind of play with them and stuff like that. But anyway, you can see Bitcoin right now. You can see as far as momentum is concerned, let's just start off with the monthly chart because we are going to be doing a little bit of a recap here. For whatever reason, the text is too small. Let's bump this up to 24. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We already know that on the monthly charts, we're still bearish as far as MACDs, stochastic, and RSI. These are never really good signs when we start to be bearish. It's just not good. So I'm not really anticipating anything great happening in the short term here. And hey, Lisa, happy to see you. Happy New Year. Hope you guys all had a good New Year as well. Mine was busy, but I did have a fun time there. But as far as, the momentum, we're still at exactly the same spot. What I find fascinating before we start going at the lower time frames is we closed below the 20. And now we're breaking back above it. This month is not over. A lot of stuff could happen, but at least for now, it's great that we're actually moving up after breaking down. Kind of reminds me of what we saw way back over here in 2023, and then maybe what happened back over here in 2020. Not what happened back over here in 2018 or what happened over here back in 2014. This is just looking a little bit better. So maybe something of 2020 or 2023 and not what we usually see when 2022 and of course 2018 and then of course way back over here in 2014. Mixed bag, but at least it's not something that's a definitive, oh my gosh, the world is ending. I would say that's more of the momentum shifts happening here, which is the big concern for me right now. But now that we already know that the monthly charts are bearish right now, we know that we're having a little bit of a nicer move. Back over here, a few days before Christmas, we had talked about, saying, we have one crossover with the stochastic happening right now, and it's a high risk play, but if you guys wanted to take it, you guys could start looking at some of the daily charts and seeing if there's any momentum shifts there. I didn't take this trade primarily because the stochastic, the RSI, and the MACD for me usually all have to be aligned when it comes to the weekly chart, specifically when the monthly chart is bearish, right? But right now we have both the stochastic and the RSI bullish, which for the majority of people is actually enough to start opening up a bullish trade. Again, am I opening up a bullish trade right now? No, that's no. I think if anything, I'm just going to continue day trading because that's my favorite thing to do. But pretty soon you might have a bullish MACD, which may be pretty nice. And some of the levels that we're looking at right now are pretty simple things, right? Pretty simple things. You can see level of resistance right there. That's currently where we're hitting, and we're having some trouble with it. We'll see if we're able to keep on moving tomorrow, but that's really the big level of resistance we're facing at this point in time. If, however, you go back over to the weekly chart, you're going to see that if we manage to break out above this over the next few weeks or next week, whatever it may be, the 50-week moving average is going to be that big one. I know we've talked about this over the years, and I believe Benjamin Cohen had made some posts about this as well. That 50 is something we usually get back above after we have a larger breakdown, and we start to tilt back down around that time as well. Not the worst thing, but when we have those monthly charts turning over, that momentum turning very bearish and longer term trends, we typically have a nice move, which you can see there was a big level of resistance right here. We got above it slightly, and then we broke back down. Right, you can see a breakdown that happened back over here, whatever, stuff like that. Not all-time high, so not as important, I would say, but you can see the breakdown that happened right here. Retest the 50, and then we continue to come back down. That's kind of where I feel we're headed at this point in time. That being said, there are still plenty of opportunities for trading, and this is where, like we talked about before, most people are going to be having a little bit of an increased level of risk. So we started to see some okay signals for Bitcoin back over here on the weekly chart saying, okay, maybe things aren't as bad. Well, if you guys took the buy opportunity during that time, which happened to be buy, right? So the buy signal came out over here December 21st. If you took that, your stop loss was right around there, $84,000, $85,000. And if you didn't sell, you're doing just fine. You're doing just fine. The previous one that we had as far as the bullish crossover was way back over here. And that meant that November 24th, right here. And we had a smaller move right there. So you can expect to see a few days of good movement if you follow along just with the daily charts. But you're not looking at weeks of great moves, which of course are going to kill me a little bit here. And that's why I think, as far as how I'm moving the channel, I'm probably going to use my weeks or my BYDFi account, because that's usually what I use to trade. I'm going to pull those up, and I'm going to start using different trading strategies on top of those. So I'm thinking of doing 2 to 3 hour streams a day. I'm going to try to push this out and see if my brain can just handle it with the ADHD and stuff. I think tomorrow we're going to try to do a full 2 hour stream. Today I'm going to do a stream until 3 o'clock and just try to get my hour in to see if I can still get it done, right? And then we'll have one where all we do is trade on the 5-minute chart. We'll have one where maybe we're doing more 30-minute charts or 15-minute charts. It may take a little bit more time, but we'll have some good money there, especially if we can get, the altcoins along with it. And then I think we'll have something that just looks like a generic Bitcoin chart that we can go through all of our little moves and kind of see how momentum is acting there. Kind of my standard smart money concepts, MACD, stochastic, RSI chart. And then finally, we'll probably have a 4-hour chart where we can do swings where, I buy with you guys probably live, but because of the nature of how long that trade's going to be, 12, 15, 24 hours, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to come back the next day and say, hey, here's the profit of what we're at right now. Let's sell it live. Or if we're hitting a certain level of resistance, like a Fibonacci level or an order block of some case, right? Or momentum is shifting just a little bit too much for me to handle as far as like, oh, I want to sell. I'll tell you guys where I sold, and I'm like, hey, everybody, formal alert. I'm selling at this price. It was a good trade. We bought here, sold here. I think I need to move on. And if I make a mistake and it goes even higher, so be it. At least we've locked in that type of profit. So that's the goal here. I have a whole worksheet off. I've been spending the whole last 2 weeks just getting a massive amount of videos and stuff ready to go, where I want to be giving you guys 2 to 3 videos a day, primarily 2 just because of the notification rules that YouTube has. And the first video that's coming out is basically just your simple how to add a moving average on a TradingView. The next video is the best settings for your moving averages for day trading, and then after that it'll be best moving averages settings for swing trading, and then long-term investing. So just get ready for that type of stuff. I think it'll help you guys out a lot here. I've been really using AI to pinpoint all of my strategies and kind of explain what's happening. One of the best things I think for me in AI has been the ability to kind of look at some of my professional charts that I have on TradingView or TD Ameritrade, and I said, hey, here are the settings I have. I like them because of this, this, and this. But then taking that and building the strategy out for me in a way that is digestible to you and doesn't sound like, oh, this guy is talking to me at some PhD level. So I think we're in a good spot there. And hey, Dimitri, happy to see my man. Are we in a super cycle or just temporarily counter trend rally? I think this is right now a counter trend rally. I mean, I'll let you guys know when I get excited. I'm not terribly excited right now, but I basically, I'm somebody who sold off a lot of my altcoins, and I'm holding a decent amount of my, Bitcoin left, my Solana, my Ethereum, but I've shaved off a good amount since I bought them back in 2022, when I bought most of my stuff there. I have some retirement type of crypto, but that stuff I just don't touch. I don't add more to it right now. Just keep it where it is. But that brings me over to where we're talking about altcoins here and the rest of the market. Today it's a great day. XRP is having a good day. A lot of stuff is just doing fine, not necessarily great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff just up 1-2%, and it's not what you really want to see, but we'll see if things get better because the momentum on those is so much worse. But virtuals is up today, render is up today, lighter is up today, XRP is up today, SWI, artificial intelligence, right? And you go last 60 days, because we've been so flat, today has actually been making people really happy over the last few days. Now, if you go over the last 90 days, right, there's only so many things that are actually up. The majority, of course, are red. A lot of red there for the last 90 days. But people may, it's just the way the market works. People forget that it was so bad over the last few months. People are like, oh, maybe Bitcoin's bottom. Maybe we can go buy back in. Maybe everything is good right now. That's not the way I'm going to think about it, but, it's just something to be aware of. And that takes me to our portfolio here. So as far as the main portfolio, I've actually sold a good chunk of this stuff. I didn't really sell too much Dogecoin, but I sold it back like in October, I think, some of it. Tron, I'm still holding a little bit of that. I sold all of my ADA for a loss. It wasn't a big loss at the time. I think it was maybe even up a few percent. I sold all of my Matic as a loss. That's not even on here anymore, but all my Matic as a loss. And I sold like 50% of what I had left in my Solana because it had a great run. I bought it really cheap. I wanted to make sure I locked in those profits. But if you guys recall, a few months ago, we came together and we were like, hey, we're going to buy 3 portfolios here. One is a high risk portfolio. One is a super high risk because it's just one crazy meme coin here that I think we talked about. And the other one is the group portfolio safe. If you guys have the group portfolio safe one, after all this time, you're really only down around 7-8%. It hasn't really been a terrible time for you because you were diversifying. You have Bitcoin, Kronos, BNB, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, SEI, Pepe, Hyperliquid, Official Trump, and Bubble Maps. And Bubble Maps is down 78%. Official Trump is down 40%. You see a lot of stuff down, but this is more weighted towards, the coins that I personally find more valuable, like a Crow, like a Bitcoin, like a BNB, an Ethereum, and XRP. Right? And that's kind of help us mitigate some of those losses. Whereas if you go straight for the fart coin one, that one is down 62%. Or if you go for the high risk one, which is a diversification of the high risk tokens, that's only down 47%. And you can see we were as low as like what, 358, maybe even lower than that last few weeks. Yeah, 316. And now all of a sudden we're back up here to like almost $400. So it's fine. This isn't where I want it to be, but I'm going to keep on holding some of this stuff. And I would say the only reason is because I didn't add too much money into this, right? Like Oxycoin right here, this one up over the last 24 hours is up 72%. That's wild. And I'm still down 36% after it being up 72%. So it is what it is there. And then I told you guys about the Robinhood one. So far I invested $190 into this account. I will add another $100 this month. So it's $100 a month or $1,200 a year, and I basically just add to these positions on the right-hand side of the screen: the Big Bear AI, the Soundhound, the Very, the Amba, CMO, TIM, Indonata, Quantum, QBTS, KN, OSS, and then basically I've been able to make around $20 in profit off of this. And that's been a mix of dividends as well, not just the actual money coming up. You can see like Big Bear AI, I bought this a while ago. You can see I only have a little bit of it, right? Only $18 worth of it. It's down around 10% or around $2, not terrible, right? This is a highly volatile one. I should show you the 5-year chart. Very, very volatile, very, very high risk, but there's something right there. The next one we could look at is like Soundhound. Maybe just go 3. This one's down 13%, but it's only down $3. Again, high risk token, but that's why we're diversifying all of this right now. Very right here, this one's up 14%, 15%, or around $7, $8. It had a pretty good day up today of around $7%, excuse me, and that's been fine. And you got others over here, like some are down, some are up, like we talked about here. Amba, Data, what's Data? This is one of those bigger, larger companies. Yeah, this one's up 2%, 3%, but my total return is 3%, but today it came up 18%. And again, I'm only up 31 cents on this. It's not like I've invested so much money yet, but $100 a month, it will add up, and that's kind of what I'm banking on, because I'm not buying these to sell in 2026. I'm planning to sell these in 2027, 2028, 2029, and I expect at least half of these to not really go anywhere, but the half that does go well, the 10%, the 20%, whatever that is that makes it, there's a lot of money to be made there, as long as I hold and I just don't play around and start selling because I'm like, oh my God, everything is falling and flailing, you know what I mean? So one of those things where it's like, okay, good, still doing okay. Somehow through all the market craziness, we are up $20 on a $190 investment. Not a lot, but heck, that's more than a lot of people over the last few weeks. And then going over the stock market, the Dow jumped nearly 600 points to close at a record as markets rally after the U.S.-Venezuela action. A lot of stuff has been happening. A lot of chaos has been happening, but the market still seems happy. And you can even see today defense stocks actually managed to soar, which I think is something that's pretty intense, I would say. But again, the military-industrial complex, they get their props every administration, no matter who's in there. All right. And hey, for me, it looks like a solid hold and buy low if you can, in tech and mines, silver and gold. Yeah, I mean, gold's been going crazy for so long. Silver's been going crazy for so long. I think a good silver or gold ETF, or even just a precious metals ETF, I think you're going to be just fine. Some people have been buying up physical gold, which I think is a little bit more difficult because you have to sell that physical gold. It's kind of like more of a barter system. But yeah, if you guys just have any type of gold in your accounts, or silver or platinum and things like that, it makes you good money. I mean, I'm wearing silver, but I don't think, I think I bought this David Yurman ring for like $425 or something like that. Nice. It's silver. I thought about getting some white gold stuff, but silver's cheap enough where like it looks good. But nobody's going to really try to like mug me over a silver ring, basically is my thought process. But if I were to go somewhere and say, hey, I want to buy a used silver David Yurman Waves ring, I don't think somebody's going to pay me even $400 for this, right? If I go to the pawn shop, I bet they'd probably try to offer me $50 and sell it for $200 or something crazy. It's so just being in the right space has been huge for gold, I would say, over the last few months. I mean, last few years. I've been holding gold since COVID really heavily, and it's just been kind of something you kind of add some money into every month because you got some extra capital, and you're like, okay, well, if something bad does happen, why don't I just have it in gold? Because it's volatile, but it's not crazy volatile like a Bitcoin, right? And all of a sudden it starts to take off. It's just like money. For me, hold and buy low if you can into tech and mines, silver and gold yet. Yeah. There we go. But at least for right now, we are seeing Bitcoin having this little bit of a breakout. There's a few different ways if you wanted to look at it, to be honest. So there's always order blocks you can do. The first order block that most people are going to be using, most YouTubers, most people are going to be this one. Go over to the 15-minute chart. Are we going to be able to close above this by the end of the day? Right now we have around another hour and a half before that happens, and we're having a little bit of resistance right now. For me, I don't really think about it in terms like that. I'd rather have this larger order block, which is just basically a spot to sell right now. You can see that move right there. There we go. And I believe we're just in a nice little sell zone right now for everybody who was able to buy over here when the momentum started to shift. I'm thinking for a minute what I had with you guys was I used to have this little diagram that had 4 different quadrants to it. And one quadrant would be, I believe, a weekly chart. Then the next one would be a daily chart. The next would be a 4-hour chart. And the next one after that, I think would be like a 15-minute chart or something like that. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of where we were headed. Like, is the forecast kind of more bullish? Is the forecast kind of more bearish? And I think what I'm going to do is maybe make another one where I just replace the bearish one, and the bears and the bulls one. How do I say this? Where I only have the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour. That way you guys can see, hey, at this moment in time, we have strong momentum to the upside. And maybe I'll add on some, maybe what I can do is actually add on some oscillators there so you guys can see, oh yeah, no, I think just being bullish means the oscillators are there. We'll probably do bullish and bearish for the time frames, but they will only be required to be bullish on the stochastic and the RSIs to be qualified to be bullish at all. And we're going to take out the MACD and we're going to take out the stochastic when talking about those specific ones, because I just want you guys to have a clear idea of, oh yeah, if we're in a bullish trend on these time frames, that means if I'm day trading right now, because Michael told me this, hey, I better make sure I stick to this type of trend. I keep on going long here because the overall trend is long and I don't go against that grain. Like I literally just built a PowerPoint a few minutes ago with some software that I have, and part of it is using a simple moving average strategy. But again, me using this, like me giving it all, like I give ChatGPT all the information of a strategy that I use, that I backtest, that I like. It will put it into like a PowerPoint form, and then I'll take that and I'll put that into a PowerPoint AI maker. And then that builds me something where I can say, hey, this is how my thought process works. Here's how everything goes. And you guys can see it pretty well. And hey, Jamrock, happy to see my man. Happy New Year. I did have a nice vacation. I enjoyed it a lot. It was more of just like a mental health thing of me just relaxing and getting out there. My sister was in town, so I was able to like hang out with her every morning, every afternoon. But at night, I just went out every night and I just talked with friends and relaxed and kind of decompressed my brain. And I got back on my ADHD medication, which I'm going to be needing for all this work I'm doing, which you guys will see the fruits of in I guess probably half an hour when the first video comes out, but really tomorrow when the more advanced videos come out. And what EMAs is? These are simple moving averages, not EMAs. I like simple moving averages. My default ones are going to be 20, 50, and 200. Excuse me, 20, 50, and 200. If you want to go with EMAs, you can. It's just a little bit more weighted towards the most recent candles, right? But I'll be putting out some videos on those if you want as well. The first video that, as far as this new strategy I'm doing, is just how do you add moving averages onto your charts. Then it's going to be what's the best settings for moving averages when it comes to day trading. Then what are the best settings as far as swing trading. These are all separate videos. Then long-term investing. And then how do you add an exponential moving average onto your chart? How do you, what's the best settings for day trading, swing trading, long-term investing? Hey, how do you add a double exponential moving average to your chart? Strategy, triple exponential moving average. It's a process, it's a grind, but I think I'm going to be mentally capable of doing it. I think for me, though, it's just more of doing it when I can and whatnot, and then streaming with you guys kind of more of a relaxing way where I'm not going to make it into a show anymore. It's not so much a show as us just like looking at the data, doing some live trades, having a blast while doing it, but not really being... there's not going to be as much structure as there was before, I would say. Or I can go off on tangents by like without having to kind of worry about the views and stuff like that. I'm just going to do my thing because right now I think I cared way too much about views last year, and I really did. But that's because I was trying to focus on views, because remember, YouTube took away my ability to make money off of YouTube before they fixed it. But their AI has been having so many issues that it's just like you couldn't really do anything to fix it. So now I'm going to focus on getting my views from videos and not so much streaming, because I'd rather just chill with you guys, answer your questions and stuff like that, especially when it comes to live trading, right? So that's kind of strategy there. But if I go over here, I'll show you guys this. So this is basically, oh, ad blocker. Okay. How do you, there you go. So this is kind of like a draft for it, so you can kind of imagine. My head is supposed to be over here, so I'll just do that for now so you guys can have an understanding of how this may work. All of my strategy videos, not my, like, some videos are gonna be like, hey, how do you add this indicator? Very, very simple. My head will be over there. But for things like this, they're gonna have their own PowerPoint tutorial to kind of teach you the concepts, and then I'll pull up a live chart and we'll run through like not necessarily simulations, but examples of, hey, here's how it's working. See how we had this point on the PowerPoint. This is what it looks like on the chart. You see that? Now you try it out in your free time. If you have any questions, let me know. I can help you out, stuff like that. But you can see simple moving average day trading strategy, a clear repeatable way to trade stocks and crypto using the 9, 20, and 50 simple moving averages on the 5-minute chart. Because a lot of you guys have been asking me for help about the 5-minute chart, and I'm like, I don't really trade using the 5-minute chart all too much. So I made a strategy that worked with the 5-minute chart for you guys, going over some data, seeing which numbers worked. Like really, a lot of people like to use like 10, 15, and 40. I like 9, 20, and 50. I think that works a little bit better. Oh, I have to scroll. Yeah, okay, sorry. This isn't a real PowerPoint, it's a PDF file version of it. But what is a simple moving average, right? Why the strategy uses the 9, 20, and 50 SMAs. So 9 shows the short-term momentum and where the price is moving with the strength in the current direction. The 20 highlights the healthy pullbacks within the trend as and acts as your primary decision zone for entries. And the 50 defines the overall intraday trend that helps you avoid dangerous counter-trend trades, right? And you can see our chart set up in exact settings. Select your time frame, choose the indicator type, add the 3 SMAs, apply to markets, right? Identify a bull market here, a bullish trend basically here. Price above the 50, 9 SMA above the 20 SMA, higher highs and lows, right? You can even maybe think you're in a bullish change of character there, but I'm not going to add change of character into this mess. Maybe I'll merge them later on, but I feel like that's going to be like a comprehensive video I will never be able to do because it'll take more than a few hours to make. But you know, when to buy an uptrend. So you wait for the pullback, watch for support, confirm the bounce, enter the trade. Once you know that you've established yourself inside that bullish market, how to trade the bearish markets, stuff like that, managing risk and placing stop losses, how to take profits, exit trades, take partial profits early, Fibonacci extensions, trail on your stop. This really works with stocks, not so much crypto because crypto exchanges suck like that. And then exit on trend break. So, you know, little things like that and little mistakes, you know, and then we kind of apply all of this stuff to a live chart so you guys can see. Now, because it's a 5-minute chart, of course, I'm not going to be there for hours watching each candle come in, but we'll kind of back test it in real time. And I'll be like, hey, this is something that's going on. Hope you guys enjoy it. You know, like, you know, this is something that could help you guys a lot. So that's kind of the new system that I've been developing. It hasn't gotten a lot of views so far, but I think it's the best way for me to kind of share with you guys that type of stuff, right? So I made this one, how to set up smart money concepts, Lux Algo 2036 update. What are smart money concepts and how institutions move price, right? So this one, you can still see it's grinding on views. It's getting views externally. Where from? I don't know. Google search. People are searching for it and they're finding it, which is awesome. But you go over to the video itself without playing the audio here. You see how PowerPoint, diagrams, examples, stuff like that, right? Nice and easy. And then when you guys have seen this, you guys go to the next video of the course, right? I don't know if this shows the course here because it's my video. No, I don't think it does because it's my video. Oh, and I also went through a different channel to get it. But then when I show you guys, hey, the next step is how to set up smart money concepts, right? And you can see this one's getting a little bit of views. It's still building. That's all how my videos are. They're so slow at the beginning. And then you see the best crypto trading strategies for 2026. I don't believe this is the same category. I'm going to have to make another one. But you can see it just kind of grinds here for a while. It takes forever. But then after a while, you know, this is all the news content we were making. But like the best swing trading strategy. Eventually it starts to build back up, and the views come in a little bit more. Get a few more subscribers and stuff like that. But then you get a few that are like, I haven't been making as many tutorials as I want to. That are like this. This swing trading strategy, let me quit my 9 to 5, whatever it is. And you can see how it ranks on search, and now it's just going higher. About 1 out of 5 videos will do that. Then eventually they'll turn into these videos where I get a lot more views on them if I can find them. January. This is back in May. Oh, that's not the right one. Let's see. Where is it at? Oh, there it is. Right? So this is like a year later. It grinds, it grinds, it grinds. My thing was I just didn't make many of these last year because I knew I wasn't making any money. So you see how I wasn't getting paid at all for this? Like, at all? At all? And then when YouTube says, like, oh, my mistake, we're going to start paying you again. Well, that's like a whole half of the year of not making any money off of my content. So I kind of like really pulled back on that type of stuff, which is why I was doing so much of the easy stuff. Like, hey, everybody, you see this news that coming out today? Hey, Trump said this crazy thing and the market went this way. Or Kevin earlier said something crazy as usual. This is what he says about the market. Whatever. Because I wasn't getting paid, which means I spent more of my time on the trading charts and not so much time on YouTube. So because of that, we're going to switch it up a little bit here. I'll be doing a lot more tutorials. I have concepts I want to work on. The list is going to be a while. Like you heard me talk about, like moving average, simple moving average, double exponential, triple exponential, quadruple exponential. If I go over here to, let me see. You guys will see that it kind of starts off on a list here. Simple moving averages, how to add exponential moving averages, dual moving averages, add triple moving exponential averages, VWAP on TradingView, so that means VWAP plus a VWAP strategy, how to add anchored VWAPs with placements, RSI on TradingView, MACD, which means the best, like how do you, like a simple video that like a minute to 2 minutes, how do you add the MACD on a TradingView? Then you have like a longer 10 to 30 minute video breaking down what the MACD is, how to use it, and then within that video we go off the PowerPoint and we go back onto a TradingView chart where I show you guys examples and we back test, and I back test for you guys saying, hey, this is see how it worked, you see why this one didn't work, and then we go back to the PowerPoint saying, hey, there was a clear buy signal here, but you guys recall that one of the common mistakes is people buy at heavy levels of resistance or a heavy order block. And so even if you bought that buy signal, and you shouldn't have, because that's one of the rules. You don't buy at a heavy level of resistance. And guess what? You bought there and it came down and you would have lost money. So I'm trying to like build that in so people can like learn from all the mistakes I've made and look for those patterns, or start to learn how to even see those patterns when they're back testing. I was helping a friend learn how to trade over the winter break. And it was kind of surprising to me that he wasn't seeing necessarily the same stuff I was in terms of just crossovers and pattern recognition. So I think pattern recognition will go a long way for a lot of people just to kind of like get used to it. But I mean, there's Fibonacci extensions, RSI divergence, pitchfork tools, pivot points, order blocks, zigzag indicators, the TTM squeezes, whole moving average. I already have a whole moving average here, but that's like 2023 or something like that. So moving fast. But my goal is to have 2 videos out a day. I'll see how long I can do that. Really, it starts tomorrow. That's when all this really starts. I should actually just change that other video I just had here. And just put it till tomorrow morning. Yeah, there we go. And that way you guys get a how to set up video. That's mostly for search. Then you guys have an advanced strategy video, guys, if you want it. I just don't know how long it's going to take me to make that second video yet. So I'm hoping it doesn't take more than 2 hours per video, because after that I have to start like moving my own like personal time slots around, because going to the gym, going out, whatever, but yeah, so I'm excited to see how that itself works out. Let me put this back over here and get rid of the heat maps. Is the simple moving average better than the EMAs? It depends on what you're using it for. I know a lot of people that like to use EMAs when it comes to smaller time frames and larger time frames, because it just gives you a little bit of a heads up, a little bit less lag, if you will. I was trained on SMAs. I prefer SMAs, but I think there's a lot of people out there nowadays who prefer EMAs. So I would actually probably go online to YouTube, look at EMA strategies and SMA strategies, and back test them both on whatever charts you're looking at, and then find out which one works better for you. I'm more of a swing trader, so I prefer the 20, 50, and 200 simple moving averages. If you're a day trader, you're more likely than not prefer EMAs, right? But if you wait long enough for my channel, so it'll take a minute, but I'll have strategies on simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, double exponential moving averages, and triple exponential moving averages. And that just means how much weight you're giving to the most recent candles, whether it be no weight at all, extra, everything's even, or a little bit more weight, a lot more weight, or a crazy amount of weight, right? And hey, J-Mark, how can we do this on your site? No, not yet. I'm still working on my website right now. That's kind of like grinding, but it's a process. We're getting all the what do you call them? Not the guide, the definitions done for all the keywords. That right there, that PowerPoint, that's basically what I just made today. I haven't done anything with, like, I literally made it in the last like 45 minutes. Hour and 45 minutes. And that's mostly used for me to help you get, like, for me to talk and gather my thoughts as I explain stuff and then bring over the other videos. What I can try to do is I can try to make a Google Sheets page that anybody with the link can see and click on the URLs for the PDF files or download them, whatever. And then you guys can look at them in your own time if you want to. I don't think that'd be necessarily a bad thing. Let me figure that out. I'd probably do that on the weekend when I'm not going to be putting out videos. These videos typically, guys, should be coming out Monday through Friday. I'm taking the weekends off if I'm doing all this work. Not even that. I'll probably take days off in the middle of the week, but like, I'll figure it out. I just want to hit the goals. I don't really care how I get there. I just want to hit the goals. But I think the easiest way to help you see what I'm working on would be to make that that Sheets page on Google dashboard, and then just say, hey, the link is down in the description. And if you want to check it out, you can kind of read it yourself and go over everything. I'm just not entirely sure the best way to do that. I want to make sure it's like a link that you guys can click on the sheet where you have the ability to download the PDF. And then the PDF file might be the easiest way for me to do it, because like when I click on this, that's just me clicking on a PDF file, and you can see PDF up here, or maybe it's kind of small, I know. But you can scroll like that, or you can go over here to this full page and then do the little presenting thing. Yeah. Because I like having these. I'm not even paying for this AI software right now. I'm kind of just using the free version to kind of test it out and use it. But I do like it. And that's a 10 slide project. I'm thinking if these videos do well and they earn me a little bit of money, I will probably pay a premium package, and I may end up doing 20 slides to break it down into even more detail for you guys, or I'll be able to say, hey, as many as it takes between 10 and 20. So basically it unlocks more room so we're not missing out on small little tidbits. Basically, it's called Gamma AI. So here's the smart money. I made a few smart money concepts. I was learning how to use it because I wasn't good at it at the beginning. There's like a lot of little tedious things you have to do. Like AI, you gotta like do some stuff. But this is the one that I did for the Smart Money Concepts video, right? Smart Money Concepts, the institutional blueprint. Oh, really makes me want to do that. Okay, there we go. But talks about why traders fail, the logic behind retail versus institutional logic, breakup structure, right? Change of character, order blocks, fair value gap, liquidity, buy sell zones, premium discount zones, discount zone equilibrium versus premium zone. Oh, and that's it. I ran out of slides. There's only a few of them I can do. But I think what I couldn't do is if I hit upgrade here, Yeah, they have one for $25 a month. I think that'd be fine. And it says create up to 60 cards per prompt. Um, they got one right here for up to 20 cards per prompt. Um, Maybe I only need the plus, actually. That's not, I can probably pay that today, yeah. 1,000 monthly credits. I don't think I would exceed that versus 4,000. I guess I would have to probably test out the plus, see how many credits to use, and if I go over my allotted credits, upgrade to pro. Yeah, because I'm not a team, right? I don't need multiple people here. But I guess if you're a company, you just want to churn these out, you can get $100 per month one, charge like $500 for, you know, like $250 an hour, spend like 5 minutes on it, you know. Probably take an hour and a half to 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, so there's going to be some cool stuff going on there. It's just that I have a plan. I'm currently in the execution of the plan, but as I'm learning, like as I'm executing this type of stuff right now and making my moves, I believe I have to just, you know, figure out what's not working and adjust fast. That way I'm good to go. So I doubt I'm going to have 2 videos every day starting tomorrow, but I'm confident by next week I'll have 2 videos out because I'll most likely try to have a backlog. So this weekend I'll try to make 4 videos. So 2 simple videos saying, hey, what is, like, here's the indicator, how do you add it on there? And then 1 for the strategy, and then 2 of those basically. And that means Mondays and Tuesdays is already done. Sunday, I'll get Wednesdays and Thursdays done. So sometime throughout the week, I'm going to try to get Fridays done. And if I get Fridays, then I can work on getting next Mondays and Tuesdays. So by next Saturday, I either have Saturday off or I'll be making next Wednesdays or Thursdays videos. So, you know, it builds up a really good backlog. And then I'll just be using those videos to get subscribers, views, educate, plug affiliate offers or something, you know, in there as well. But really just have a chill time teaching you guys some stuff, and you guys can kind of see what's happening in my head, because the only reason I've been able to do this as of yet is because, you know, I have the Chat GPT paid version, and so I'm always talking with the AI about different stuff, and me being able to talk to the AI saying, hey, you know, I don't trade too much on the 5-minute charts. Do you have a strategy for me that may work? You know, and it'll say, oh yeah, here are a few different moving averages. And I'm like, hey, I see what you're trying to do, but I feel like these moving averages are better, seeing the patterns I'm looking at when it comes to SPY and Bitcoin. What do you think about this? Can you find any like research or data on it? It's like, oh yeah. We've seen a little bit of stories about this. These are different types of trading than what we were talking about before. With your type of moving average settings, you're not really looking at this as easy crossovers like most people are. You're looking at it more pullback and retest zones to buy. And right, and I'm just like, yeah, that's true for like day trading. You know, you're buying more of the breakout or the retest of a breakout, and not necessarily the lows or something like that. So, you know, just stuff like that. I'm able to kind of go back and forth. It's been able to help me figure out how I want to articulate all this stuff to you guys. But yeah, as far as your question, Jamrock, probably by this weekend, probably Sunday, because I'm gonna be a little bit slow on it, to be honest. I'll put up a Google Sheets page. I'll share the link down in the description with you guys in the video. And if you guys ever want to just kind of peek at it, feel free. I like them a lot. They're really, really, really good. The scale is really, really good. AI has a way of like articulating the things that I may leave out. Which I think is overall something that should be pretty good there. Here, you guys can say hi to Loki. He's over here trying to look for some fun, but he's bored. Ooh, cold ice water. Where's Loki at? Oh, yep. He had a great Christmas. Yeah. Yep. You know, he basically got to play outside every day, all day. He was exhausted. He got a bunch of new toys. He didn't get many new treats because he was eating too many of the treats. My grandma got him some big dog treats that she thought was going to last him like hours, and they lasted him like 10 minutes max or something like that. So he's been going through it. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. That's kind of the new strategy I'm going to be working on this year. I'm super excited to see how it works out. I think I have always, all my good content has usually always been trading strategies and educational content. So I think I'm just going to double down into that and then try to follow that list as best as possible. I know people will have questions and stuff like that about things, and I'll just kind of address it as I can. But I don't think it's going to be necessarily the most difficult thing to do to make all of these videos. It's just making sure that my ADHD gets good enough, you know, to like be able to execute on those types of things. And then as far as streams, we'll have a news component to the streams, but I haven't really figured out how I want to do that just yet. Maybe we'll spend like 10 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes on X plus CNBC where we're talking about all the crazy stuff. And when it comes to that, I think that happens more when we're in our 2-hour streams and our 3-hour streams. Oh, and also I will tell you guys this: I'm not normally going to stream at 2 o'clock. This is just something weird where I have a dinner with a friend at 5, so I can't like stream at the normal time I wanted to. When I get back to rolling, I think I'm going to do longer, like later streams like I used to do, that go from maybe like 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, and then I can go out and do my drinking and smoking later on that night until like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then I'll be fine. It may shift up every now and again, but I think that's probably the best way I want to go about it. So I'll leave you with that, cutting it short by another 10 minutes or something like that, but I feel like we're going to be fine there. I have to be more consistent with my streams, so more of you guys come in, more of you guys want to chat, because if you guys are in here chatting with me, I can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But if I don't have anything to bounce off of, my brain just goes into tangent space because of ADHD, and it doesn't end well for me thinking of like, uh-oh, now I've lost my train of thought and stuff like that. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I don't have anything planned. So tomorrow's stream is going to start off at, let's say 5 o'clock. And I will set that stream up right after I end this one, so everybody knows tomorrow's stream is at 5 o'clock. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, Villarap, for becoming an early adopter. Thanks, Jamrock, for all the moderating you always do. And Dolphins, happy to see you here. Will, sorry, Loki was yawning over there. Will to the free, and happy to see all of you guys in here. And Dimitri, I appreciate you guys. Same with you, Lisa. And get ready for some more members videos as well. I put out a members video the other day talking about, hey, Bitcoin can make a move. And we're making a move right now, but it just took so much longer than I thought. And I don't know if YouTube is necessarily showing my members videos. I don't. Yeah, only 2 people saw that can Bitcoin get one more big bounce. And that was on December 30th. That was like 6 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll see how it works out. Thanks, everybody.